All right, today we're diving into a topic that's on pretty much everyone's mind, the future of your job. We're going to take a hard, data-driven look at the massive shifts heading for the global job market by 2030 and break down what it all actually means for you. This is the big question, right? The one that maybe keeps you up at night a little bit. With all the buzz around AI and automation, it's totally natural to wonder, hey, is my job safe? Well, if only it were a simple yes or no. The truth is, the entire world of work is being reshaped as we speak. But look, this isn't about scaring you. It's about understanding what's happening. We're going to walk through the real data from major global reports to see what's really going on. So, let's get into it. First things first. Before we can look into the future, we've got to understand where we're standing right now. So let's get a quick snapshot of the global labor market today. The job market is already navigating some pretty choppy waters. We're all still feeling the ripple effects of the post-pandemic recovery. On top of that, you've got the rising cost of living, global conflicts, and the very real impact of climate emergencies. All of these things are already shaping jobs all over the world. And here's the crazy part. On the surface, if you just look at the global unemployment rate, you'd think everything's great. It's at a historic low of 4.9%. But that one number, it's hiding a lot. There are some huge inequalities just below the surface, which kind of sets the stage perfectly for all the disruption that's coming our way. And that brings us to the elephant in the room, the one piece of technology that everyone is talking about, the biggest disruptor of our time, artificial intelligence. Now, we're not going to talk in vague, abstract terms here. A really recent, hard-hitting study from MIT put some concrete numbers on AI's potential impact. And honestly, they're staggering. Get this, according to their simulations, it is already economically viable for AI to perform tasks that make up 11.7% of the work done by the entire US labor force. That is a huge chunk of work that could be automated, like right now. And the value of all that labor? A jaw-dropping $1.2 trillion in annual wages. But the most surprising part of the study wasn't just how big the number was. It was where the impact is going to be felt the most. See, the MIT researchers found that while we all tend to focus on tech jobs, the real, kind of hidden vulnerability is in all those routine administrative tasks that are the backbone of almost every single industry. We're talking HR, finance, logistics, office management. This isn't a Silicon Valley story. It's an every office story. But as massive as AI is, it's not the only thing going on. To really get the full picture, we need to zoom back out and look at the other big trends that are transforming the way we do business. This chart from the World Economic Forum lays it all out perfectly. When you ask employers what's driving change, yeah, of course, technology is number one. You can see broadening digital access right there at the top. But look at what comes right after. Huge economic and environmental pressures, like the rising cost of living and adapting to climate change. It's the combination of all these things that's creating a perfect storm. So we have all these powerful forces at play. How does that translate into actual jobs? Let's take a look at which roles are set to grow and, well, which ones are on their way out. This all leads to what experts are calling the great job churn. And when you look at this chart, you really see the scale of it. By 2030, an estimated 92 million jobs are expected to disappear. But, and this is key, at the same time, 170 million new jobs will be created. So we end up with a net gain of 78 million jobs. The story here isn't about a future with no jobs. It's about a future with a massive mismatch between the skills we have today and the skills we're going to need. And here's what that churn looks like up close. On one side, you see these jobs growing like crazy. AI specialists, sustainability specialists, renewable energy engineers. See how they're directly linked to those big trends we just talked about? And on the other side, you have roles based on routine, repeatable tasks. Data entry clerks, bank tellers. The trend here is, well, it's crystal clear. Okay, this brings us to what might be the most important question of all. If job titles are changing so quickly, what should we even focus on? The answer is skills, the fundamental human abilities that are valuable no matter what your job title is. And we need to get on this like yesterday. The World Economic Forum predicts that nearly 2/5, a full 39%, of a worker's core skills today are going to be disrupted within the next 5 years. So which skills matter the most? Well, employers are overwhelmingly clear on this. Number one is analytical thinking, which is really just the ability to tackle complex problems. That's followed by creative thinking, for innovation. And then there's this crucial personal trait, resilience and agility, the ability to adapt, to be flexible, and to just keep learning in a world that never stops changing. This slide just visualizes the whole pivot perfectly. Look at what's in demand. High-level stuff like AI and big data, creativity, leadership, and just being curious. And what's less in demand? Skills that can be easily automated, like manual dexterity and simple memory tasks. Okay, we've looked at a lot of data, so let's pull it all together and really focus on the single most important takeaway from all of this. This right here is the bottom line. With this massive job turn and skill shift, a staggering 59% of all workers, that's nearly 6 out of every 10 people, are going to need some kind of retraining by 2030 just to keep up. That's the scale of the challenge in front of us. But here's the other side of that coin. That challenge, it's also a massive opportunity. Companies are reporting that the number one thing holding them back from transforming their business is not being able to find people with the right skills. The demand for skilled, adaptable, forward-thinking people isn't just growing, it's urgent. So when you boil it all down, the data shows one thing loud and clear. Change is coming, whether we're ready for it or not. The path forward is all about continuous learning and focusing on those uniquely human skills that machines just can't replicate. The future of work is not a spectator sport, so the only real question left is, how will you prepare?